How to build the Goku Black Rose clone's hidden potential. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are overviewing the Goku Black Rose clones and how to build each one of the 5's hidden potential. The 5 Rose clones, all of these guys here, can be recruited from this event here, the Transcendent Embodiment of Fury event. There are several different ways to get multiple copies via missions and completing certain conditions, like collecting 20 or more key spheres during certain phases, right? You just got to grind it out. It does take a little bit. There's not much of a trick to it. Just pay attention to grabbing key spheres. I do find that using orb changing items do very much help with it. Gets it done real quickly. So grind these guys out and you'll be able to level them up and fill out their hidden potential. You're definitely going to want to, as these are the free-to-play units for this. There are going to be missions for stones and tickets and such attached to them. So with that in mind, be aware there are 2 sets of them. You really only need to grind out 1 set, but there are 2 sets, one with the standard art and one with the special art. No matter what, they're both exactly the same, and we're going to focus on that. So let's start with the STR one here. So all of these guys are all types, key 3, attack defense 50%. So we're not going to read that anymore because it's the same for all of them. They massively, the STR one will massively raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy, and have a 15% chance of transforming to an additional supreme power. Now, pay attention to this massively raise 100% attack because that's going to come back later. That is huge. As the second or third attacker in the turn, they change key spheres from Fizz to STR, and this is at the start of turn. So right, if he rolls into the second or third slot there, he will automatically change. Per Future Saga ally on the team gets attack defense 40% up to 200% with a chance of performing a critical hit up to 75%. Per Future Saga ally whose name includes clone on the team gets up to 150% attack and transform a critical hit 25%. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, gets an additional 150% attack and additional 150% attack and defense when fighting a superclass enemy. With 1 or more STR key sphere obtained, he will launch a guaranteed additional attack. And when attacking with 12 or more key, he gets attack defense 200% with damage reduction rate 20%. So with the massively raising attack and the built-in additionals and all of these additional attack buffs, you can see that this guy is going to be your main attacker for the squad. And as long as you have the full squad, he's going to be at his max potential with crit built into him, right? He's going to have 25. He's basically going to have guaranteed crit if you have the full 5 of these plus your leader of the Goku Black clones. And even better if you're using Rose, who is buffing them all by 80%. So knowing that, right, that pretty much tells us how we want to build his hidden potential, because even though as an STR type, he naturally leans into crit, he doesn't need it. So we're actually going to lean into, as you can see here, we're actually going to lean into additionals for him. Additionals is going to be the best way to take advantage of what he can do with that 100% massively raise attack. And as long as you get an STR key sphere having the guaranteed additional attack, that means with 15 additional, you have a 30% chance of gaining an additional super attack. Now, I'm not going to go over skill orbs in this because they do not have specific skill orbs. They have character exclusive skill orbs, but there's no specific level for each of them. So get whatever you can get to maximize their additionals. So if you can get level 5 additionals, you can bump that up to 25 for a 50% chance of getting an additional super attack. As far as his sub goes, just go dodge, right? Put your 6 points into dodge and leave him at that. If you get any extra skill orbs that give dodge or defense, I would go that route for him. But you do not need to invest any crit, right? As a CR type, he's going to have that natural 5 crit to begin with. So for STR, adds sub dodge. Next up, we have the int the Int Rose clone. The Int one is greatly raising attack and defense for the turn, raises allies' defense by 15% for 2 turns, and has a 50% chance of getting supreme power on his super attack. As a second or third attacker on the turn, he changes tech to Int key spheres. Per future ally, he gets 40% attack and defense, and allies 8% up to 40%. So on the full clone squad, that's a 40% raise. And then per future saga ally whose name includes clone, he gets additional 100% attack and defense, and an additional attack and defense 6% up to 30% per clone on the team. So if you have the full clone squad, that's a 70% support on top of his 15% support for 2 turns. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, attack and defense 150%, and it gets a scatter effect. With 1 or more Int keys here, he does recover 10% HP, and when attacking with a 12 or more key, he gets additional attack and defense 200% and guards all attacks. So you can definitely see by looking at this guy's passive, he is a support type unit, and he is an Int type. So that basically tells you what you need to build him. Since he is an Int type, he's going to naturally lean into dodge, which will help him, right, getting a max of 20, but we're actually not going to go the full 20 with him. What we're going to do is we're actually going to prioritize additionals for him, and the reason you want to prioritize additionals for him is because of the super attack effect of 15%. If he procs an additional super, he's going to be able to boost 30% for 2 turns on top of all of this extra support that he's doing, right? So that's a potential of that is a potential, right? If he launches the attack in the first slot, for example, right? Which, I mean, you're probably not going to have him slot 1, but let's just say for argument, right? If you put him in slot 1 because it was safe, you would have 40%, 30%. That's that's 100% attack and defense support, right? Because if you proc the double super here, realistically, he's probably going to be your 3rd slot floater, which means your next rotation is going to be getting the 15% support from him, while the main rotation is going to be getting this support. So, I mean, do what you can with that, but my recommendation is maximize additionals, right? So 15 gives you a 30% chance. Obviously, if you have any extra skill orbs to boost that up to 25, use that, and then go sub dodge as an Int type. You will have the natural 5, so your extra 6 dodge will give you 11, and then any skill orbs that you may have, right? If you can get any additional dodge skill orbs, invest those, because that'll be the way to go. He does not need crit. He's a support type unit. He's not going to be dealing damage, so I focus on his support. Moving on, the Tech Rose clone here, we do want to look at his super attack. So he is greatly raising attack and defense for the turn, causing supreme damage, and he is your tech unit. Ironically, tech. I don't mean tech lat, I mean like technical skill. He's your sealer. He, as the 2nd or 3rd attacker in the turn, he changes AGL key spheres to tech, and per future saga ally on the team, he has attack and defense 40% up to 200%, and lowers enemies' attack and defense no more than 40%. Per future ally on the team. Per future ally whose name includes clone, he lowers attack. He gets attack and defense 20% up to 100%. So same as all the others, and then lowers enemies' attack another 30%. So that is a total of 70% attack and defense lower if it's possible, and for some of these new fights, that's really, really helpful. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, it gets attack and defense 150% and has an action cancel. With 1 or more tech keys for obtained, he gets damage reduction rate 40% when receiving an attack from an enemy who's hit by his super attack. So that's that Jackie Chun effect, right? Very, very useful effect. And then when attacking with 12 or more key, he gets attack and defense 200% and attack and defense 200% when the target enemy is in 60% or less, attack down, defense down, stun, or sealed. So basically, he is your sort of mitigator, right? Your tech unit, you want to utilize him to lower attack and defense as well as seal enemies when possible, right? So as a tech type, he's going to naturally lean into critical hits. As a big attacker, he can get 20, which means a 40% chance of dealing a critical hit. And that's basically what you want to do. Like the STR type, he is going to be your attacker. However, since he doesn't have built-in crit, you do want to give it to him. So 17 crit is probably what you're going to get the max out of him if you fully invest as a tech type. So take advantage of that, and then whatever skill orbs you can invest. No need to give him dodge, right? He's going to have enough dodge. Well, he's going to have enough defense to survive with the support that's given to him, as well as with the damage reduction and the sealing and the attack and defense lowering, right? So no need to give him dodge. I would go a little bit of additionals, right? If you go full crit and sub additionals, you're going to have or sorry, not full crit, right? The balance, you're gonna go slight crit, right? The balance. This is more of a balanced build. So 17 here, and then add what you would normally have here is 6, right? Add an additional 3 here, and that's going to give you enough additionals to at least have a chance of proccing an additional super for the extra chance to seal. So again, instead of going the full 20 crit, go 17 and then drop a little bit into additionals. This just gives him that extra bit of tech because that's what his job is. So utilize him for that. Moving on to the AGL. The AGL greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and has a 50% chance of transforming to a super attack to supreme power, same as all the others. As a second or third attacker in the turn, at the start of turn, changes key spheres to STR to AGL, and per future Saga ally on the team, attack and defense 40%, has evasion 10% up to 50, per clone on the team up to 150% defense, and chance of evading enemies attack up to 20%. So 70% chance to dodge on with the clone squad there, and then attack and defense 150%. All allies attack 30% for 2 turns. Win all 5 extreme types, and with 1 or more AGL key sphere obtained. Chance of evading enemies attack 20%. So if you fulfill all the conditions, that's a 90% chance to dodge. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets attack and defense 200% and launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack. So floating support once again. And so as an AGL type, he's going to naturally lean into additional attack, getting a possibility of 20 if you max him out, and up, which means a 40% chance to deal an additional. But you'll notice, right, for most of these guys, we are not going the full. We're balancing them out, or at least leaning a little bit into what they do best. So for the Rose clone here, this one, we're actually going to go a little bit into critical hit, because he's going to deal a little bit of damage. He doesn't get anything extra too much off of the additionals, but he doesn't really need dodge. With a 90% chance to dodge, you may as well lean into the crit and let him help deal some damage as well, and then giving the 22% chance to deal the additional super attack, because it's not really necessary. So I would just go 15 on the additionals, and then 15 on the crit, and then 11 on the additionals. That would be my recommendation for his hidden potential. So that brings us to the final one, the Fizz type Rose clone. The Fizz type Rose clone is raising attack and massively raising defense for 1 turn, causing supreme damage to the enemy, and has a 50% chance of transforming his super attack to supreme power. As a second or third attacker in the turn, he changes key spheres to int, from int to Fizz, and per future Saga ally on the team, 200% attack and defense with damage reduction rate 30%. Per clone on the team, he's going to have another damage reduction rate 20%, so 50% damage reduction rate with attack defense up to 100%. When the team includes all 5 extreme types, he gets attack and defense 150% and all allies defense 30% for 2 turns. With 1 or more key sphere obtained, he guards all attacks, and with 12 or more key, he is effective against all types and attack and defense 200%. So this guy is your tank. So you've got all the roles here with him. You've got the tank, you've got dodge support, support, you've got tech, you've got dodge 2-turn support, and then you've got your main attacker. You can see that every single one of these fills a role within the team. So for the Fizz one, right, as a Fizz type, he's going to naturally lean into combo attack additionals, getting up to 40%, and that's actually what we not need him to do. That's the funny thing, right? Like, that's what he's good for, but that's not what we need for him, because he is a tank. He's not really going to be dealing damage here, so there's no need to invest in anything else for him. In fact, what you should do is invest in dodge. I know that sounds a little cringy, but you can get quite a bit of dodge if you invest fully in him, up to 25, which gives him a 25% chance to dodge. Basically, what you're doing by doing that is giving him you're basically playing up his defense, right? He's either going to tank the hit or he's going to dodge it. One of the two, all right? And that's basically what you're doing. A 1 in 4 chance to dodge, or just straight up tank the attack. You want the additionals just for that extra defense, even though it's not helping really anyone other than him, right? But with the 100% raise to defense, it is going to be very, very helpful for him, right? If he procs 2 of them, that's a 200% defense raise. So you do want to have a little bit of additional in there. So full dodge, sub additional, right? Maximize this guy's tanking ability. So that is all of the Rose clones. Now, one thing you'll notice is that each of them note that an ability as the second or third attacker in the turn. None of them have a first slot passive. Well, that is because primarily the way this team is designed is around you running the STR Rosé right here to function properly. The STR Rosé will buff the rest of them 60% for the turn, for if he super attacks in slot 1, which for the most part he can hang out in slot 1 pretty well. So you have that, and then all on top of that support, because they all have the name Goku Black in their name, they are getting this additional attack defense 80% from him. So they are designed to work around this guy, and so all of the potential builds I've recommended here, all of the skill orb recommendations, is all built around the idea that you are running these guys with STR Rose to activate that support, those links, and just help them function properly. It also assumes that you do have all of them working together on the same team. There is absolutely no reason to run these guys individually, as they each need all 5 of the other members to operate at their max. Now, I didn't show any skill orb investment on any of them except for this guy, and that is just because, right, as I mentioned, just so you can see what it looks like, but as I mentioned, they do have character exclusive skill orbs, but they aren't specific. You can get anywhere from level 1 to level 7 for these orbs, so there's no specific one. Get what you can, maximize what you can for what they're good at based off of this guide. So once again, just to recap, the int is going to focus on an investment in additionals and sub dodge. Tech is an investment on crits and sub additionals. All right, with not going full crit, giving a little bit to the additionals, right? 17 crit, 9 additionals. AGL is going full crit and then sub adds. And then for the Fizz, as we said, full dodge, sub adds. And then for the STR, a full additionals build, sub dodge. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, how did you end up building your potential for these guys? I know there's a lot here, and I wanted to make sure I took the time to break down each one individually for you guys. Again, there is no difference between the alt art and the regular art. They all function exactly the same. So you want to make sure that you are utilizing at least one of each, right? As you can see, they're basically the same card. But let us know how you would have built them in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.